All right, Mr. Moody,
Yes, ma'am.
do you want to be on probation for the rest of your life or end up going to prison?
No, ma'am.
So, one, you got to stop using marijuana. I know people think marijuana is not a big deal, but in Texas, it still is a big deal. And you cannot use marijuana while on probation, and you cannot drink alcohol while on probation. Those are the rules. That's the law. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you continue to use marijuana, that tells me that you want to go to prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a case. Let me see. You're on deferred adjudication. So you're looking up to 10 years in prison. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So they're requesting that you do intensive outpatient treatment, that you restart it. If you miss your classes for intensive outpatient treatment, you know what that tells me? Maybe you want to go to prison. And if you get sent to prison, how long could you possibly go for? 10 years. Do you want to go to prison for 10 years? All right. If you don't want to go to prison, then you had better start doing what's being asked of you on probation. You understand? And if you're tested today, are you going to be positive? When's the last time you used marijuana?
Probably like a month and a half.
All right. They're going to test you today.
Is there no confusion?
Yes.
Okay, so we just have a few concerns.
Mhm.
The test that was done right before Christmas on 12/20 tested positive for marijuana.
Mhm.
The other concerns are he has been on probation since 2020,
Mhm.
and it appears that all of his classes are outstanding.
So
Hasn't done like a FIP class or his parenting classes or anything like that.
Yes,
all
ma'am.
right. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a reset for me to get an update on this. I'm going to reset you in a month.
Yes,
And if
ma'am.
you have not started those classes by that time, probation, I'm going to ask that a motion to revoke be filed. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So you had better start. We're not doing this thing. You've been on since 2020 and have done nothing. It's like you're not even on probation. You're just living your life. And guess what? You don't get to just live your life when you're on probation because you have a contract. You understand? So, Ms. Abrams, if we set this for an update for me in February, would that give him enough time to have started the classes?
Yes, Judge.
All right, what date do you recommend we come back in February?
Of the second week, right?
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you put this for the week of February 5th?
I can do.
Mhm.
Yes, yeah.
All right, we're gonna come back on February 8th, and you had better you had better not miss another class. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you need to make a decision. Is marijuana worth 10 years prison potentially? If the answer is yes, then just let me know and we'll see about accommodating your 10 years. And when you go to prison, when people ask you, why were you here? You can tell them, the mean judge sent me to prison for 10 years for using marijuana. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And you'll get a reset form and then you are excused once you speak with probation. All right, thank you. Who is here on Andre Moody? All right. Hello,
How you doing?
how are you doing?
Fine.
Well, it doesn't seem like you're doing well because you're before me,
Yes, ma'am.
and you're not before me because you've been successful. And you're not before me because you have questions. You're before me because I have questions and probation has questions.
Ah.
All right, let me ask you this. If you're revoked on this, how much time could you do in prison? No. Everybody will say, I can't do any time in prison. You know, somebody would tell this story for us this is when I first started out. They said the judge asked the defendant, so how much time could you do in prison? Just let me know. And you know what they said? The defendant told him, oh, I can do 2 days. And you know what the judge told him? You know what? You just look at every time as 2 days increments. And you know what that judge did? Sent that person to prison for 30 years. So on this case, how much time could I send you to prison for?
How much you can?
Yeah.
10 years?
10 years?
Wow.
Do you want to go to prison?
No, ma'am.
Do you want to go to prison because you are not doing what you're supposed to do?
Right.
And people, well, you're acting as though you do because people are working with you and it says your counselor contacted you and said you missed your group session.
Ma'am.
And then the counselor said, look, I will let you make up those sessions. And your answer to this counselor, knowing you could go to prison for 10 years was, I don't think I can do that. So do you think you can do 10 years in prison?
No, ma'am.
Then why are you acting like you can?
I live in Universal City, ma'am, and recently I've been just struggling. You know, I've lost my job because of transportation, getting back and forth. There's no public transportation in Universal City. Mr. Sheridan is a wonderful counselor. You know, I did go set up that meeting with him again because he helps me a lot. You know, I just wasn't able to. I'm not able to move, like get to places, you know. So
Who do you know in Universal City?
I have a roommate. I don't have no family out here. All my family has passed away. I'm from California, you know, so I don't really have people here. You know, I don't have any help. I've been paying $400 every 2 weeks at where I'm staying just to live there, you know, and then I've been catching Uber and Lyft back and forth to work to get there. And then that's a lot of money, you know, I don't have it, you know, and then I've been trying to do it. I could get to places, you know, like today I walked from Universal City to Converse to catch the bus to get here today. But I don't have like funds. Like I'm just getting backed up and on everything, and everything is kind of like coming at me at one time. And I don't know. I don't have no help. You know, I don't have nothing.
How old are you?
30, about to be 31 next month.
You'll be asked to step
I'll be-
outside.
I'll be
Just one
31.
second. I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Who is talking to the inmates like this is visitation? Who is it? Deputy Lord, who was it?
It's that lady with the dark hair.
Excuse me. Hi, miss. I'm gonna need you to step outside the courtroom. All right.
I'll be 30.
Yes.
I'll be 31 next month.
Mhm.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be 31.
All right. So you're gonna have to sit down with somebody. And by somebody, I mean probation will help you. You're going to have to get employment and figure out a budget.
I do. I have income tax. I was working all last year. I have income tax coming February 26th. That's going.
Well, I hope you didn't have somebody do your income tax where they take
No,
a
ma'am.
major percentage of it and then,
I don't know. I just filed. You know, I file with her every year. You know, I work every year. Yes, ma'am. And
all right. So he's saying he lives in Universal City. Are we aware of him living in Universal City? Did you let them know you lived in Universal City?
No.
So state, this appears to be his issue. He doesn't have any transportation.
I was able to obtain my license. I've been working on that. I did get a car, but the next day it had a blown head gasket, so I lost it and I lost my money. So that kind of set me back as well, you know. And I've been trying to get a car like the right way because that's why I really got my license and did that because I didn't want to get another car that was going to go bad on me. So I got my license and trying to do it.
All right. And they say you worked full time at Hooters, or you did. What do you do at Hooters?
Cook.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Ms. Abrams,
Yes, Judge.
they're asking for him to restart IOP.
Yes, Judge. That is the recommendation. And additionally for him to restart IOP, I do want to ensure that he is enrolled in his VIP course at least by the either end of the month or, mid-March.
Okay.
Ma'am, I tried to enroll into the BIB class online due to my transportation issues, but it was $195 to enroll. I didn't have the money. You know, I enrolled in Mr. Sheldon's class.
All right. And see, here's the thing. I understand how finances are hitting you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
But you know why these financial issues are hitting you and you got to still just deal with it? because these are consequences for your offense.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you would not have committed this offense, guess what?
I wouldn't be in this
You wouldn't be
situation.
here. Ms. Abrams, with regards to enrollment in BIP, he says he's getting his income tax, so we can give him till March 28th to enroll in BIP. You drug tested today. What are the results going to be?
Did any drug.
All right, so we're going to drug test him today.
Your Honor, I would like to point out that his last drug test was positive for marijuana back in December. So we can see if that's out of the system by now.
Okay, all right. So you're going to get drug tested today,
No.
and we're going to see what the results are. And if the results are positive, we're going to have another conversation. But for now, he's enrolling the BIP on March 28th, and he's to restart IOP. So you're still telling me it's going to be negative?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else, Miss Abrams?
No, Judge.
All right, just sit there. Do you need any water or anything?
Yes, please.
All right, just have a seat. Mr. Moody, come forward. So we're not on the record. When's the last time you used marijuana?
I haven't used it since December.
No, I mean, unless something is wrong with the laws of
Right.
physics and the time continuum has changed, you should not be positive for marijuana if the last time you used is in December. So let me just tell you something right now. You're on probation out of this court. If you want to continue to use marijuana, you're an adult, that's up to you. But using marijuana while you're on probation is not allowed. It's against your conditions of probation. And guess what? You may or may not end up going to prison for 10 years. And when people ask you why you're at the prison for 10 years, you can tell them because you wanted to use marijuana. And I'm sure at the prison, there's a way that people can make their marijuana. I know there's a way that people can make their alcohol if they so choose to imbibe, but you will be at the prison. And guess what? At the prison, you don't have to worry about catching but one bus. And you know what that bus is? The bus from the jail to the prison. So I am not going to tolerate any more excuses from you, because if you can find time to do marijuana, you can find time to get to Universal City. I don't want to hear this nonsense about I had to walk from Universal City to Converse, because guess what? Those are consequences from being on probation. You need to get a job, and in your job, you need to include reporting to probation and doing your treatment. You should have been done with treatment, but no, you're missing classes. Any other place, guess what they would have done? Maybe issued a warrant for your arrest instead of having this conversation, and you'll be taken into custody and you will be brought out wearing orange or red, whichever category they put you in. Do you understand? And if the roommate you're living with is allowing you to use marijuana where you all live, then that's not a good roommate. But I am not going to tolerate any more nonsense with you not following through on what you need to do. This is the last conversation we're going to have, the last compliance we're going to have. If I get another report and everything is in order, I'm going to sign it. And when I sign it, it's going to be for a motion to revoke. You will have to make bond. If you don't make bond, you'll be brought over and we will hear the allegations. Either they're going to be true or not true. And if they're true, you're looking at potentially 10 years in prison. So it's up to you to make the decision of whether or not marijuana is worth 10 years of your life, potentially, or 1 year, or 5 days. You understand? So do not come back here before trying to get tea and sympathy from me. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. All right, court is calling 2019 CR 8716, State of Texas versus Andre Alonzo Moody. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Christian
Defense?
Vega for the defense.
Are you Mr. Moody?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you the same Andre Alonzo Moody who was placed on deferred adjudication in 2019 CR 8716 for the offense of assault, family choking, strangulation on June 24th, 2020 for a period of 6 years and extended for a total of 3 years? Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
State?
Moving forward with submission number 2, on or about the 24th day of April 2024, in Bear County, Texas, the defendant Andre Alonzo Moody did then and there fail to submit the drug testing as directed by the court officer, supervision officer, and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
Sure.
The state will be waiving and abandoning the remaining conditions.
Any objections?
No, Judge.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Judge, we ask the court grant the motion or deny the motion, enter adjudication of guilt, and sentence him to 6 years, probated by 6 years.
All right, so is this the proposed agreement?
Yes.
Why? Why should I do this? He's been here before on a motion to revoke. This is not his first motion to revoke. And the court has addressed issues with him and addressed issues with him. And nothing is happening. We're still here. I've even extended him. So I don't understand why he shouldn't be revoked.
Judge, he has completed those courses. I think he was going to do another round of BIP as well. This would be a conviction for the state.
Why would he do another round of BIP?
It was open there on the court summary. I know that he completed the first one. That's what it reflects.
All right. In his motion to revoke, I'm not considering it, but he has a violation of condition number 1. What's happened to that case?
That's supposed to be rejected.
All right. Is it being rejected because he's entering a plea to violation of condition number 2?
No, independently.
Yes, that's my understanding between the compensation of staff.
I still don't understand. Why should he be continued? Probation
Yes, sir.
on Mr. Moody. What is probation's recommendation?
Revocation.
All right. So I don't understand why it should continue him.
It's a revocation and then putting him back on probation, straight probation, 6/6. But I think, was it because in the beginning the state had mentioned denying the motion? They
Yeah.
meant grant.
No, here's my problem. He's been on probation before. A motion to revoke was filed before. He was continued. Now we're back here again for another motion to revoke. And I'm being requested to continue him. I don't understand why I should continue him. It doesn't appear that he's being successful.
For a master.
No, I mean, nobody wants to go to prison. Everybody asks to be continued. I'm just trying to figure out, why should I continue you when we've been here before?
For
You want to raise your right hand? Do you
Yes.
solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes,
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Andre Moody.
Why are you not taking your drug test? Because that's what you pled not to doing.
Yes, ma'am. When I went up to the to go take my drug test, I had $8 in cash, and I had the remainder on the card. They didn't accept it like that. Currently, at that time, I had lost my apartment. I was paying.
All right, wait, let me stop you right there. So you are saying that you went to go take your drug test. They were charging you a fee. You only had $8 and they wouldn't accept the rest from a card. Is that what you're telling me?
Ma'am.
All right, probation. Can you have somebody zoom in here?
Yes, sir.
All right, somebody's going to zoom in. We're going to find out what's going on with the drug test. All right. Thank you. So we're back on the record in 2019 CR 8716, State of Texas versus Andre Moody. All right. So we do have Officer Siddell here. Does anyone wish to ask him any questions?
Yes, Judge, if I may.
All right. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
We do.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record, please.
Michael Seidel, Community Supervision Officer, Bexar County CSCD Office, Unit 7.
All right. And to the court reporter, that is spelled Seidel. And could you all not send anything else to the printer since we're by Zoom? All right, you may proceed, defense.
One moment, Chair. Mr. Seidel, do you have any knowledge on whether or not Mr. Moody showed up to get a drug test and was denied the opportunity to do so?
I do not have anything specifically in regards to that.
Judge, I think this might be the wrong witness.
All right. So do you know when he was scheduled for a drug test? Is there any way to check?
Yes, he said that he would submit a drug test that day, April 24th, at our meeting.
All right. So is there any way for you to check with the facility to see if he actually submitted or tried to submit a drug test on that day?
They do not have a record of him attempting to submit a drug test that day.
All right. And do they place in a file or something that says he didn't submit or attempt to submit?
Yes, there would be a record here in their database, and there is not.
If someone showed up with the incorrect amount of money, would that be reflected on that database?
No. They would all in the database. It would be if they tried to submit and didn't, or if they didn't come back, or something like that. But not if they didn't have the payment.
Pass the witness.
All right. So that it can be very clear. If someone were to show up for drug testing, do they have to sign in?
Yes.
All right. And if they sign in and don't have money, will it still show up that they actually signed in and appeared?
In what I have access to, I do not have that. It would not show in what I have access to.
But would it show up that he even appeared, regardless of whether he was able to pay or not? Will they take his name down that he actually appeared?
That I don't know.
All right. So, Ms. Abrams, when can we?
Judge, so we would have to move this to like a contested hearing. The people from RMS would have to be subpoenaed in order to be here. If it's gonna be, we need specifics on that specific day. I did reach out to Mr. Seidel to ask him about the payment situation, whether or not they would take a combination payment, cash and card. And RMS, he did reach out to RMS in regards to that, and it was confirmed that they do not take a combo payment. So
No, they would.
they would?
They would take a combo payment.
Okay. I misread the information. So at this point, we would have to set it for contested if you would like us to get RMS here.
All right. Any other questions for Officer Seidel?
Not for Officer Bill, Judge, but I just wanted to clarify. It's my understanding that the defendant has been true already to this point.
Yes.
So just not sure if it would be necessary at this point. This one would be.
Well, the issue is he's saying the reason why he's pleading true with the explanation. He's saying the reason why he didn't take the drug test is because they wouldn't take a combination payment. He said he had $8 in a card and they told him no. So Officer Seidel is saying they will take combination payments. So if your client wants someone here from the facility, they're probably going to end up saying, maybe not, they're going to probably end up saying they do take combination payments. But since he's pleading true with an explanation and that's his explanation, then we'll get to the bottom of it. So we'll have them here. All right. So where are we on compliance?
Your Honor, Mr. Moody came in, I believe, last week, asking assistance from the court to be heard in reference to his GPS tracking device.
Yes.
We're requesting it be changed from partial to tracking only. He's currently at Haven for Hope in the courtyard area, and he does have a job right now. The issue is with partial, he can only have the one job. He's looking to get another job to make money to make it out of Haven for Hope, get an apartment, stabilize himself in the community. So that's the reason why we filed this motion for your consideration.
All right. State, are you in agreement with tracking?
We are not, Your Honor. Given the supplemental report that was filed and the information contained in that report, it does seem like there was some deceptive behavior that time the defendant. And that was just as recently as mid-December. Additionally, we have spoken with the complainant in this case, and she is fearing for her safety. She has applied for a protective order, and so for those reasons.
I will tell you what, this is what the court will do. I'll consider your motion for tracking once you do have a second job. Yes.
So they're not allowing me, they only allow me to, GPS, Mr. Patel, the corporal, he's not allowing me to, he only allowed me to go to, work and come back. So it's kind of hard to talk to Corporal Patel.
Well, don't they have computers? Are you allowed to look for work on
They
computer?
don't.
How can they not have computers there?
Right?
That's computers, and then they make them leave at 5 a.m. every day, and I'm just trying to go to work. I don't mind the GPS. I don't have no problem with it. I'm just
And
trying to.
let's do this. Then what the state is telling me and what the state has told the court, is that true or not true?
It's true.
All right, so you need to show me sometimes on GPS where there are no issues with you. Because I will look to see if somebody has been having issues or not. Normally, if they have not had any issues, even though the state may say, we want them to remain on GPS, I'll start with tracking only. But you're not at the point for tracking only because you've had these issues. So I tell you what, counsel, if you come back March after spring break, because spring break people tend to get a little crazy. I don't know why.
Yes, John.
If you come back after spring break, I'll reconsider the tracking.
Okay, I have one more question.
Yes.
So, I'm working at the temp agency right now. Still temp agency, staff to you, and the GPS monitor person that's at Corporate Patel, he's saying that I can't work there because it's a temp agency, and that's the only type of income I got right now. Like that's the only. I've been searching for jobs and looking.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, if that's what you're saying, we will see if they can have them Zoom in, or counsel, if you can talk with the corporal and let them know that he's allowed to work.
Okay.
And if it's a temp agency, then it's a temp agency, but you're going to need to provide proof and you're going to need to provide the location. All right, so I don't see why that's a problem.
I can follow up with that individual judge and just have it known to him by the court that they're encouraging him to work, and upon getting satisfactory documentation that will suffice. And if he's allowed to have some leeway to possibly look for another job, hopefully they'll consider that as well. But I did speak with him, and I do know this court likes to see the compliance in advance. So I can rest assuredly tell my client today that going forward, if he follows the conditions as set, leaves the complaining witness alone, doesn't go anywhere near, we'll have a better fighting chance at maybe getting that adjusted in March. Judges.
All right,
All right, Judge. Thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Maybe excused.
Yes. Thank you for dressing appropriately for court.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Let's get the facts straight. She loves a verbal ashtray. Never blowing smoke when she gets pissed. She's quick to castrate. Love her on a good day, love her on a bad day. Either way, she's here to stay, stay, stay. Call up holy, 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 holy.